Dana might want to release one of these guys, not release, but allow one of these fighters. Because remember, anybody signed to the UFC cannot fight a Paul brother unless Dana says it's okay. Even if they're retired.
Okay.
George St. Pierre can't fight without Dana's blessing because he's still under contract. That's why he couldn't fight Oscar De La Hoya.
I didn't know that.
So he got them signed. I mean, he got them on a deal. So I wonder for the brand, if you just let one of the bad boys out there, if you let a Jorge Masvidal, someone with fucking hands, yo, go take care of this little problem for me. If you let Nate Diaz go, yo, take care of this little problem
That's
for me.
the only
Can't
way.
risk that.
Say what?
You can't risk that because what if one of your big dogs fucking goes down to him?
And they might,
So that's why you can't risk that. He's playing it. He's playing it the way he's supposed to play.
but he's going to keep on driving that fucking thorn into his side.
Yeah.
Jake is going to keep on. Now Jake has a legit win. I mean, Ben Askren was an incredibly effective fighter.
But everyone knew he's not a striker.
He was, exactly. So
His hands were, he was doughy. His hands were soft. Like nothing about him. As a
Tyron.
boxer, nothing about him looked like he was
Tyron
gonna
looked
win
like
this
an
fight.
athlete.
Yeah, Tyron looked
Chiseled.
And he is an athlete,
And
right?
he is an athlete. And he was a puncher and an elite UFC striker.
Yeah.
Just gets demolished by a Disney star. I'll repeat that. An elite UFC striker gets demolished by a Disney star. Bad for the fucking brand.
Yeah, I didn't know he was considered an elite striker.
Gets his biggest payday ever.
and then
An elite UFC striker gets his biggest payday ever and gets demolished by a Disney star.
yeah, I mean, just pieced up. I didn't think he was gonna win. I didn't know he was considered elite, and I was just thinking, like, this is an MMA guy. He hasn't trained in boxing. Think what you will about fighting; it's different. But, and I found myself, I was rooting for Woodley for the fight. But at the end of the fight, after Jake Paul won, I was like, yo, why do we hate this guy? And we should all appreciate this moment. Like, we all think about, I'm sure, back in the day, like, celebrity boxing be kind of cool, just seeing these guys beat the shit out of each other. But none of them can fight. Now you got a celebrity who can fight and is taken out. Granted, it's not their sport, but
Now he has one more fight to make the 100 mil.
Yes.
And it's over. Now, he claims
Exactly.
he made 100 mil in this fight. I don't know if that's true. But he said, I'm 10% closer to being a billionaire now. That means 100 million, right? 10% of a billion, 100 million. Maybe he may have made it in. I'm not really trying to count pockets. He definitely made a lot of fucking money. There's no question, right? Got the Woodley. They knew it wasn't that big a risk because they've been sparring all these guys. They've been bringing in the MMA guys. He's been in the gym fighting with these guys going, wow, it's actually not that like coaches / sparring partners. I think either coach sparring partner, Jake Boswick. He was a bare knuckle guy. And this guy was a fucking savage, dude. Like, I remember just being in the ring with him, like going, man, if you were coming at me, like with gloves on,
not having fun.
it would be a horrible day.
Yeah.
He called out Kumaru.
yeah.
He knew something.
Yeah.
And an
Yeah.
absolute fucking savage.
They'll break his limbs.
Yeah.
Ben Askren would break his limbs.
Yes.
It don't matter.
Like Askren said, I could commit a homicide if I
Yes.
wanted.
Yeah.
And Jake is aware of that. I don't think specifically. You see the limited tools. You saw it happen to Conor against Floyd. Now, Floyd's the greatest ever. Conor's got one hand.
Yeah.
Tyron has one hand.
I mean, it wasn't even close. Like I told you, in my mind, I was like, oh, it'll be close. It wasn't even close.
Wasn't even close.
Yeah.
I also
Also think a lot of credit's got to go to like his team, like Jake's trainers and shit.
Yeah,
like,
dude.
DJ Flores, like all those.
Jay Leon
motherfuckers.
Love, like
Met
all
at
those
your-
guys. Like I almost
Jay
think
Leon,
that
yeah.
their
Jay
future,
Leon, yeah.
their future is like, oh yeah, I took Jake Paul and made him a star. Like
Yeah.
they could train anyone. Like I feel like people would be wanting to get on that team because they're like, yo, you know that ahead of time is like crazy fight IQ.
Yeah. No, they know what they're doing. And give a credit to him because I don't know anybody that's BJ is trained outside of Jake. BJ Flores is his head trainer. So I don't know. I knew he was a boxer back in the day, but I don't know where else he's trained. To just understand that, to see these guys in the gym and like see the sparring and expose that weakness in MMA, it's impressive. And I'm telling you, the biggest payday, he's the biggest opponent in boxing.
Now,
Opponent.
Are you taking Floyd out of that?
Floyd's retired, in my opinion.
Okay.
And
But if he comes back for like a money fight with someone, like whether it's Logan or whether it's Canelo, whoever it is, like,
Yeah.
would that be a bigger payday?
Way bigger.
well, but I don't look at Floyd as an opponent. Floyd is the boxer. Floyd is the name. Jake is the opponent. Like Canelo's the name. Jake is the opponent.
that's why you say Canelo's biggest opponent is.
He's the biggest opponent in boxing.
Okay, that's
right. So if you
different.
look at like the real quote unquote real boxers, a
Yeah.
real boxer now, but look at the legacy boxers, the guys who exist right now,
champions.
the champions that are out there, their biggest opponent is not someone else in their division, some Cuban guy who you guys can't even pronounce his fucking name, but it's gonna be Jake Paul, and it doesn't matter who it is. Fucking Keith Thurman, your biggest payday. Jake Paul.
Teofimo Lopez.
Your biggest payday, Jake Paul. Like, it don't matter who it is. Gervonta Davis, your biggest payday, Jake Paul.
No,
Like,
I get it.
does that make sense now?
Okay.
So it's like all those guys could fight each other and make less money if they fought Jake. And Jake put himself in that position with this win over Tyron.
yeah.
And that's why Conor, who wouldn't even mention his name, is all of a sudden going salivating. And of course he'd like a boxing match because I know you don't want to do any kicking anytime soon.
Yeah.
The best thing that Conor could have for his comeback is to go fuck up Jake Paul and make $100 million in the process. But I'll tell you one thing, it ain't gonna be easy.
Yep.
It ain't gonna be easy.
I'm not positive. I think I would have bet Jake this fight. I think I would bet Conor if they fought, but I wouldn't be super confident in it.
Look, Conor had power at 145. Comes up to 155.
Nope.
Not really have power.
Nope.
170, no power, just speed. 190, what do you have?
Yeah.
What do you have at 5'7", 190 going up against a guy who's 6 feet, legit power, range?
Yeah, I didn't even. Yeah. Weight
Walking around
classes.
at 200
Actually, you're
probably,
right.
like-
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah. Yeah. So I'm almost like, I don't know if Conor takes that fight. Like, legacy-wise, he's like, all right, just lost to Dustin. Do I really want to?
I mean, it's just...
How much is 150 mil to me now? Like,
he made 180 last year. Do you want another 150? And
Yeah.
also, if you're Dana, it's like, do I want my cash cow to get concussed by a Disney star? It's the worst.
so after this, I'm like, I don't know if we even see that fight.
Of course, of course not. Maybe to Al's point, it's like, now you can't let any of them fight. It's just too big a risk.
Yeah.
The question is, who in MMA
And the problem, if you don't let any of them fight, Jake just keeps fucking
talking that shit?
and not just talking that shit. He's talking to the fighters like, "Yo, why won't Dana let you get your payday?"
Yeah. Breach contract. I'll
and
pay
that
for it.
fucks with you more than you losing in the brand as a fighter. Personally, like, yo, this motherfucker really not letting me make 8 figures on a fight,
That's a
and he
huge
could
flex.
pay me 6 figures. For
You want to
something.
fight Charles Oliveira for 250 grand, or you want to fight Jake Paul for 10 million?
If he goes, yo, a break contract, I'll pay for it. That's a crazy flex. I don't know what the actual money is for breaching contract like that, but
I mean, you're going to be tied up in litigation forever. You're never going to see any of that fucking money.
No
They
way.
might even stop the fight. Like, they might have legal recourse to not allow the fight.
But you don't even have to go that far. Just keep fucking with these guys, because
If it's a sanctioning body, like if you're going through an actual sanctioning
like
body.
the Nevada like athletic commission would be like,
Yeah.
yeah.
But even if that doesn't happen, remember Francis Ngannou was on our podcast and he was like something about the money. He didn't seem very upset about money. Then after the first Jake Paul Ben Askren fight, he tweeted something like, "How the fuck are these guys making so much money?" They're all noticing. And Jake Paul is calling it out, so they're noticing even more. Like, yo, this is the payday. So Dana almost, if you don't let these guys, if you cut it all off, they're all going to start looking like, why are you cutting off the biggest payday in my life on a sport where I risk my life?
Yeah, for a quarter of the damage, mind you, also.
Yes.
Like, you get in the ring with Jake Paul, you're like, all right, I'm going to walk home. You know what I mean?
I lose
Like-
by split decision and I make $10 million. Of
Yeah.
Or I
course
could get in
Tyron
the-
Woodley wants a
yeah.
rematch.
I mean, Tyron not making no $10 million. No
He
way.
made more than he made before.
I think, yeah, maybe he made $1 million or something like that. But, like, still, it's still better than you're ever going to make anything in UFC.
Yeah.
It's just unbelievably impressive to see what happened with this fight. He can call out whoever he wants now, and you have to take it seriously.
And again, I think we should enjoy this, whether you like him or hate him. Either way, just enjoy what's happening, because the second he starts fighting real boxers, I think it's a wrap.
And if I'm him, I'm not fighting him.
Yeah.
Like, why fight him?
you know, Izzy wants to
outside
cle-
of, you fight one real boxer for a $100 million payday. That's the only thing that you do. You fight Canelo. You can fight Tyson fucking Fury. It doesn't matter if you get knocked out in the first round. Make the big money.
Tyson will kill him.
Yeah, maybe the heavyweight thing is a
Yeah,
little bit.
that's
You have to have
legitimately
some
kill him.
advantage.
How far is Floyd?
Deontay Wilder would fucking.
How,
my
how
God.
far is Floyd? What?
Like, is that even an option, you think? Is that even a
Nah.
fight? Like,
There.
I think after Floyd went in there with Logan and he was like, "Man, I can't hurt these guys."
yeah, it's not fun.
Yeah,
It's not- like,
he's
what's the
too
point?
far weight class. Like,
Yeah.
He'll beat him the same way that he beat Logan.
It'd just be basically the same fight.
Yeah, and it's like, okay, they can take a punch. Like, Tyron hit him with a great shot.
Yeah.
He stood up and he kept swinging the rest of the round.
Yeah.
Like, this is Tyron
Yeah.
hits hard.
He's got a chin.
Yeah,
Especially with those big gloves.
they're tough.
Yeah.
The kids are tough. So it's like, I don't even know if Floyd cares about all that.
Especially if his team's like, yo, Jake's actually maybe a little more technical than
He
Logan.
might be better than Logan.
Yeah.
So yeah, I just, bro. I don't know. Al, you're not buying it. Why not, Al?
just because it was ugly boxing, bro.
Yeah.
It was ugly boxing. Like,
He's
I mean,
not-
I've never seen boxing that ugly.
This is what he's not a pro boxer. I'm watching this. I'm like, oh, I see how you're a real boxer. We'll fuck you up. But an MMA boxer is also not
There's
a real
mistakes.
boxer.
And I get all
And the
that.
drama
Yeah.
is there enough that we know we got to talk about.
I get the entertainment factor about it, and
There's-
I'm not a hater on that, but just it.
Okay, here's the thing. There are mistakes that he's making. Not mistakes per se, but just like things that he's doing. Sometimes off balance, he'll throw a double jab, and his back foot will like slide out the back. Like just different weird things that happen because he's young in the game. But here's the biggest equalizer: power. Like if you look at guys who have power, like real power, a lot of times their technique ain't shit.